صلى الله على محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم.
Chapter on How did the oaths of the Prophet, peace be upon him, used to be? Sa'd said, the Prophet, peace be upon him, said, by him in whose hand my soul is. And Abu Qatada said that Abu Bakr said in front of the Prophet, peace be upon him, La hala idhan. Then no, by Allah. It is also said, Wallahi, Billahi, and Talahi, all meaning by Allah. Narrated Ibn Umar, may Allah be pleased with him, the oath of the Prophet, peace be upon him, used to be, no, by him who turns the hearts. Narrated Jabir bin Samura, the Prophet, peace be upon him, said, if Caesar is ruined, there will be no Caesar after him, and if Khusro is ruined, there will be no Khusro after him, and by him in whose hand my soul is, surely you will spend their treasures in Allah's cause. Narrated Abu Huraira, may Allah be pleased with him, Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, said, if Khusro is ruined, there will be no Khusro after him, and if Caesar is ruined, there will be no Caesar after him. By him in whose hand Muhammad's soul is, peace be upon him, surely you will spend their treasures in Allah's cause. Narrated Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, the Prophet, peace be upon him, said, O followers of Muhammad, peace be upon him, by Allah, if you knew what I know, you would weep much and laugh little. Narrated Abdullah bin Hisham, may Allah be pleased with him, we were with the Prophet, peace be upon him, and he was holding the hand of Omar bin al-Khattab. Omar said to him, O Allah's Messenger, you are dearer to me than everything except my own self. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, no, by him in whose hand my soul is, you will not have complete faith till I am dearer to you than your own self. Then Omar said to him, however, now by Allah you are dearer to me than my own self. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, now, O Omar, now you are a believer. Narrated Abu Huraira and Zayd bin Khalid, two men had a dispute in the presence of Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him. One of them said, O Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, judge between us according to Allah's laws. The other, who was wiser, said, yes, O Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, judge between us according to Allah's laws and allow me to speak. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, speak. He said, my son was a laborer serving this person, and he committed illegal sexual intercourse with his wife. The people said that my son is to be stoned to death, but I ransomed him with 100 sheep and a slave girl. Then I asked the learned people, who informed me that my son should receive 100 lashes and will be exiled for 1 year, and stoning will be the lot for the man's wife. Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, said, indeed, by him in whose hand my soul is, I will judge between you according to Allah's laws. As for your sheep and slave girl, they are to be returned to you. Then he scourged his son 100 lashes and exiled him for 1 year. Then Unas al-Aslami was ordered to go to the wife of the second man, and if she confessed the crime, then stone her to death. She did confess, so he stoned her to death. Narrated Abu Bakr, the Prophet, peace be upon him, said, do you think if the tribes of Aslam, Ghifar, Muzayna, and Juhayna are better than the tribes of Tamim, Amir bin Sa'asa'a, Ghatafan, and Asad, then they, the second group, are despairing and losing? They, the Prophet's companions, said, yes, they are. He said, by him in whose hand my soul is, they, the first group, are better than them, the second group. Narrated Abu Humayd as-Sayyidi, Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, employed an employee to collect zakat. The employee returned after completing his job and said, O Allah's Messenger, this amount of zakat is for you, and this other amount was given to me as a present. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said to him, why didn't you stay at your father's or mother's house and see if you would be given presents or not? Then in the evening, Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, got up after the salat, prayer, and having testified that La ilaha illallah, none has the right to be worshipped but Allah, and praised and glorified Allah as he deserved, and said, now then, what about an employee whom we employed? And then he comes and says, this amount of zakat is for you, and this amount was given to me as a present. Why didn't he stay at the house of his father and mother to see if he would be given presents or not? By him in whose hand Muhammad's soul is, none of you will steal anything of it, that is, zakat, but will bring it by carrying it over his neck on the day of resurrection. If it has been a camel, he will bring it over his neck while it will be grunting, and if it has been a cow, he will bring it over his neck while it will be mooing, and if it has been a sheep, he will bring it over his neck while it will be bleating. The Prophet, peace be upon him, added, I have conveyed Allah's message to you. Abu Humayd said, Then Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, raised his hand so high that we saw the whiteness of his armpits. Narrated Abu Hurairah, may Allah be pleased with him, Abul Qasim, the Prophet, peace be upon him, said, By him in whose hand Muhammad's soul is, if you knew that which I know, you would weep much and laugh little. Narrated Abu Dhar, I reached him, the Prophet, peace be upon him, while in the shade of the Kaaba. He was saying, They are the losers by the Lord of the Kaaba. They are the losers by the Lord of the Kaaba. I said to myself, What is wrong with me? Is anything improper detected in me? What is wrong with me? Then I sat beside him and he kept on saying his statement. I could not remain quiet, and Allah knows in what sorrowful state I was at that time. So I said, Who are they, the losers? Let my father and mother be sacrificed for you, O Allah's Messenger. He said, They are the wealthy people, except the one who does like this, and like this, and like this. That is, spends of his wealth in Allah's cause. Footnote regarding what is wrong with me. Abu Dhar thought that the Prophet, peace be upon him, had noticed something improper about him which made him say so. Narrated Abu Hurairah, may Allah be pleased with him, Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, said, The Prophet Solomon, peace be upon him, once said, Tonight I will sleep with 90 women, each of whom will bring forth a would-be cavalier, who will fight in Allah's cause. On this his companion said to him, Say if Allah will. But he did not say, If Allah will. Sulaiman, peace be upon him, then slept with all the women, but none of them became pregnant except one woman, who later delivered a half-man, that is, malformed baby. By him in whose hand Muhammad's soul is, if he, Sulaiman, peace be upon him, had said, If Allah will, all his wives would have brought forth boys, and they would have fought in Allah's cause as cavaliers. Narrated Al-Bara' bin Azib, may Allah be pleased with him, a piece of silken cloth was given to the Prophet, peace be upon him, as a present, and the people handed it over amongst themselves and were astonished at its beauty and softness. Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, said, Are you astonished at it? They said, Yes, O Allah's Messenger. He said, By him in whose hand my soul is, the handkerchiefs of Sa'd in paradise are better than it. Narrated Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, Hind bint Utbah bin Rabi'ah said, O Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, before I embraced Islam, there was no family on the surface of the earth I wish to have degraded more than I did your family. But today there is no family whom I wish to have honored more than I did yours. Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, said, I thought similarly. By him in whose hand Muhammad's soul is. Hind said, O Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, my husband, Abu Sufyan, is a miser. Is it sinful of me to feed my children from his property? The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, No, if you take it for your needs, what is just and reasonable. Narrated Abdullah bin Masud, may Allah be pleased with him, while Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, was sitting, reclining his back against a Yemenite leather tent, he said to his companions, Will you be pleased to be 1/4 of the people of paradise? They said, Yes. He said, Won't you be pleased to be 1/3 of the people of paradise? They said, Yes. He said, By him in whose hand Muhammad's soul is, I hope that you will be half of the people of paradise. Narrated Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, may Allah be pleased with him, a man heard another man reciting Surah Al-Ikhlas, the purity. Say, O Muhammad, peace be upon him, He is Allah, the One. Quran, chapter 112, verse 1, and he was repeating it. The next morning he came to Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, and mentioned the whole story to him as if he regarded the recitation of that surah as insufficient. On that, Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, said, By him in whose hand my soul is, that surah equals 1/3 of the Quran. Narrated Anas bin Malik, may Allah be pleased with him, I heard the Prophet, peace be upon him, saying, perform the bowing and the prostration properly with peace of mind. For by him in whose hand my soul is, I see you from behind my back when you bow and when you prostrate. Narrated Anas bin Malik, may Allah be pleased with him, an Ansari woman came to the Prophet, peace be upon him, in the company of her children, and the Prophet, peace be upon him, said to her, By him in whose hand my soul is, you are the most beloved people to me. And he repeated the statement thrice.